Greetings to my lecturer and everyone that is going to view this video. My name is Abraham. I'm a student studying at State Polytechnic of Malang. I'm majoring in informatics engineering. I would like to make a video presentation about my final project report, and my report is all about um, a web application that I have built using a PHP framework called CodeIgniter. This application here is meant to retrieve data from the database. There are two levels of users that are involved in this application. The first user is the administrator, and another user is the lecturer. And when you log in as an administrator, you would be taken to an admin's page. However, when you log in as a lecturer, the lecturer's page would be displayed. So first, I'm gonna demonstrate what the admin can do in an admin's page. So I've logged in as an admin, and this is the page for admin. The page for admins has got a lot of tasks to perform. There are a lot of tables here. There is lecturers table, there are the lecturers data, there is home-based data, until contract file data. So here is the lecturers data. In the lecturers data, there is this button here called, which I have named add lecturer data. There's also this button called export data in CSV. There is this button called edit, there's button called delete, and there's this button for search. So this way you can search. This is a search box. In the add button, if I click add button, I would be taken to the form. This is the form for creating new lecturers data. So in this form here, I can fill the codes. I can fill this one here. I can also fill here. I can fill it with my names. I can also fill this, and I submitted it or save. When I submit it, then the newly added data would be saved in the database, and this is what has exactly happened here. This is the newly created data that I've just added. So this is the Abraham, which is the name that I just used. So this signifies that the admins can add new data into lecturers table. Let us test the edit button, whether it works. So when I create edit buttons, the edit button form would be displayed. So this is in the edit buttons, you just have to edit the data that has already been written in that very row. So I want to edit this row here, which has the code AA. It has this one here. Let me change Abraham A to Abraham B. So when I saved it, a flash data will be shown that the lecturer's data has been successfully edited. So, and to prove that it is done, here before it was Abraham A, but after we replace Abraham A with Abraham A B, the Abraham A got erased, and the Abraham A got erased, and it is replaced by Abraham B. This means that the edit button works perfectly well. Let us test the delete button. When I click delete, it will delete all this row here if it is if it works. So let me say when you click delete, the information will be first displayed, because we know very well that when something is deleted, especially in this system, it won't be got back. So the system has to make sure that the user or the admins really needs to delete that very data. So when I said okay, it would display an information here that the lecturer data has been successfully deleted. And when we try to search Abraham, it's nowhere to be found. This means that the data got deleted. So here I have shown that the admin can add new lecturer data the admin can edit lecturer data, the admin can also delete lecturer data, and the admin can search. And there's one important button or task that admin can also perform, that is the export. So the admin can export data in CSV. This, what I mean here is that when I click this one here, the CSV file or the CSV extension of the table lecture would be downloaded, because when you use database, there's export for the database where you can export table, you can also export a database. So here I'm exporting the table. So when you click export here, the table will be exported in CSV file. So the lecturer, or the admin here can perform CRUDs, that is can create, the admin can delete, the admin can also edit, and can search. So I've done with the table lecturer. The next table is the home base table or data home base. In this table here, the lecturer can perform the same task. The admin can perform the same task that can be performed, that can also be performed in the lecturers table. So here when I click add new home base data, the form would be displayed, and this is the form. And here we can add like the home base, submit. This is already added, so it works. We can also edit. For example, I want to change the thread to default. So it says that the home base data has been successfully edited, so it works. The admin can delete, the admin can search. Here there are a lot of data, like there are 114 rows, so this is a pretty large number, which makes it difficult to search. For example, if the admin needs to see a table with a code, need to see the row with a code ZZUL, it will be a little bit difficult. So you have to just type in the sidebar, in the side box, ZZUL, and the rows that would be displayed that has that information. So the next button is the export. So when I click it, the table database will be exported in CSV file. So I've illustrated that. Let me come to class data. In the class data, the admin can add, the admin can create new class data. The admin can export. Class data is already downloaded here. The admin can edit, and finally the admin can delete. So the next table is the DPA table. This is the same task. It is the same codes. Go back. The admin can edit. The admin can delete. The admin can search. Oh my god, it's a lot of pages. Like 388. The site here, 388. You see? So it's this search button makes it a little bit easier to search for a particular row. So the table DPA works pretty well. Table position, the admin can perform the same task. Add new position data, can download, is downloaded here, can search, the admin can delete, but I don't want to delete. The admin can edit also. That's for position. It's the same thing for curriculum. The admin can add, the admin can download the curriculum data in CSV, can export the curriculum data in CSV. The admin can edit, the admin can search. You see, the admin can search, and so the admin can delete. And another one is the research data. Is the admin can do the same thing, can add, the admin can edit, the admin can delete, the admin can search, and finally the admin can download. And here it is downloaded. Another table is the digital courier, and the admin can do the same thing. The admin can edit, the admin can delete, the admin can search. You see, the admin can download the CSV file, or they can export this table in CSV format. The admin can also add. Another one is the phone data. In the phone data, the admin can add new phone data. The admin can export this table, which is the telephone table. The admin can edit, go back. The admin can also search, and finally the admin can download. I already Then another table is the status table, and the admin can perform the same task, that is create new status data. The admin can download or can export the status data from the table, from the database. The admin can delete, the admin can edit, go back, the admin can search. So it works perfectly well. This table here, the task that can be performed by admin is pretty different from what admin can performs in other tables. So when I click here, the admin can only search and can upload. So when I click upload, it will take me to the upload page. I click okay, and I upload. So when I click upload here, when the uploading is successfully done or is successful, then all the details will be displayed. For example, I've just uploaded one file, and here it says that the name of the file is RPS, and this is the code, and this is the subject name .docs, and there's also a file location that is also shown, and the size is also displayed. And there is also another button here. What I did here is that an admin can upload as much as he or she wants. So here the admin can upload another file if he wants, but if not, then the admin can only click go back and will be taken back to the RPS stock SAP file. The next is the contract file, and it's the same thing. The lecturer can just upload the contract file. So here the lecturer can upload the contract file. When it is done, here the contract file is successfully uploaded, and here is the file name contract, and this is the code Basa and the subject is English language, and this is the path for where the file is stored. So the path is also shown, and also the size for the file that is uploaded is also shown. The admin can upload another file if he wants, but if not, just click go back. So all those tasks are the ones that admin can perform. The admin can perform CRUD in almost all tables except two, where it can only perform uploading. So finally, the admin can log out. So if I click log out, the admin would be taken to the admins, will be taken to the login page. So when I click it's gone. So this is the login page. So let me also explain what happens when you log in as user. So when you log in as user, you will be taken to the lectures page. So I told you earlier that this application here has only two pages. One is what the admins, and another one is for the user of the lecturer. So this is the lecturers page. In the lecturers page, the lecturer cannot perform CRUDs. I mean, the lecturer cannot edit, the lecturer cannot delete, or the lecturer cannot add, but only the admin can perform those functions. So what the lecturer does here is only to view, to read the information that are recorded in the database. For example, if the lecturer of the user wanna see the lecturer's home base, then the lecturer just has to click this one, and if you click home base, it will display the home base data. So this is the home base data. If the lecturer wants to see the DPA, then just click DPA, and the DPA lecture and data would be shown. And if the lecturer wants to see the research, just click research, just click show research data, and everything will be shown. You want to show lecturer phone, you want to show lecturer home base, this one is show lecture codes, and also the lecturer data. So all those are the tasks that can be done by the lecturer in the lecturer's page. Another task is here. There is download RPS. Remember when I was explaining for in the admin's page, I said that the admin can upload RPS or sub file, but when you log in as a user, then your task is only to download what had been uploaded by the admin. So when we click here, it will display the RPS stock sub data. This is the table actually, but here the lecturer can download, and this one works like this. This one has got three fields. There is subject code, there is RPS, and there is also SAP or sub. So these are the field. When you click this field here, when you click this lecturer's code here, it is not clickable. However, when you put your cursor on inside an RPS or SAP file, then the cursor is clickable. It shows that data it shows that it is a button. So when you click this one here, the RPS will be downloaded, and this is the task exactly that a lecturer needs to perform. So because this RPS tier, they are having information that are really important to the lecturer, and this is the reason why the lecturer has to download this file. So also, if the lecturer does not want to download RPS, then the lecturer has to download the SAP. So the lecturer just click inside the SAP that the lecturer needs, and it will be downloaded, and the lecturer can open it in the browser. I mean, in just download it in the application, that is the Microsoft Word, and will be able to read it. This is the side button. So that is what the lecturer can do in RPS/SAP data. Also, the lecturer can also download the contract file. So, and it works exactly like the previous file table that I just explained. So here, this one here are not clickable, but when you bring your cursor here, it is a button. It shows that it is clickable, but when you just click it, the lecturer's contract file would be downloaded, and the lecturer would just can be able to open it and read. And this is all about my projects. So the lecturer can perform two different tasks. The first task is that the lecturer can view any information written in any table, but cannot perform editing, cannot perform adding, cannot perform delete. So only admin can perform those tasks. What the lecturer can perform and cannot be performed by admin is the download. The lecturer can download lecturer's contract file and also RPS and /SAP file. And what the admin can do is only to upload. So those are the tasks that can be performed by admin and also the lecturers. And this is the end of my presentation. So the last part that I would show is that the lecturer can log out like an admin. So the lecturer can just click log out and would be taken to the login page. And this all. So thank you so much for your attention.